Naranjana Matira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Guru Deva Srila Guru Deva Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Jai Om Shubhad Paramamsa Parivraja Gacharya Stotra Shubhad Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramamsa Parivraja Gacharya Stotra Sri His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Anudas Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada translated book Devotion Yatra Ki Jai Sri Siva Sangan Vaishnavis Ki Jai
Jai
Nitai Gaura Siddhanath Premanande Hari
Hari Bo
Hare Krishna Mukam Karoti Vacharam Pangulangayate Kriparam Sri Guru Jankaram Brahmananda Madhavam Shri Tejavishwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. So it's a very great pleasure to be amongst the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis of Shiva Sangan and in the company of His Grace Rameswar Kanai Prabhu. Thank you very much for this opportunity. So we are continuing our studies and discussions on Srimad Bhagavatam Amala Puranam, and hopefully we will try to receive some wonderful messages from the Sloka 27 and 28 of chapter 2, canto 4. So prior to that, let us chant the pranam mantras. Nikamakalpataror glitam phalam sukamakadamritas tavyasam pipata bhagavatam rasamale muhurahorasika bhavibhavukah Narayanam namaskrityam naram jeva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet Nashta prayeshu badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhakti bhavati naistaki. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Krishnaya vasudevaya devaki nandanaya chananda gopakumaraya Govindaya namo namaha vasudeva sudam devam kamsa chanura madhanam devahi paramanandam krishnam vande jagatguru. Hare Krishna. So this is a chapter with the title that wherein Daksha, one of the Prajapatis, is chastising or insulting, blaspheming Lord Shiva. So let us read the sloka number 27. Tasyaivam vedata sapam Shrutva dvijakulaya vai bruhu pratyas chapam brahmadandam duratyayam. Word to word translation. Tasya is Nandishwaras. Evam thus. Vadataha words. Sapam the curse. Shrutva hearing. Dvija kulaya unto the Brahmanas. Why? Indeed. Bruhu bruhu. Pratis sujat made. Sapam a curse. Brahmadandam the punishment of a Brahmana. Duratyayam insurmountable. Translation and purports by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
When all the hereditary Brahmanas were thus cursed by Nandishwara, the sage Bruhu, as a reaction, condemned the followers of Lord Shiva with this verse, with this very strong Brahmanical curse, purport. The word Dhuratyaya is particularly used in reference to a Brahmadanda or curse by a Brahmana. A curse by a Brahmana is very strong. Therefore, it is called Dhuratyaya or insurmountable. As the Lord states in Bhagavad Gita, the stringent laws of nature are insurmountable. Similarly, if a curse is uttered by a Brahmana, that curse is also insurmountable. But Bhagavad Gita also says that the curses or benedictions of the material world are, after all, material creations. The Chaitanya Charitamrita confirms that that which is accepted in this material world to be a benediction and that which is taken to be a curse are both on the same platform because they are material. To get out of this material contamination, one should take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as recommended in Bhagavad Gita 7.14. Mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. The best path is to transcend all the material curses and benedictions and take shelter of the Supreme Lord Krishna and remain in the transcendental position. Persons who have taken shelter of Krishna are always peaceful. They are never cursed by anyone, nor do they attempt to curse anyone. That is a transcendental position. I think we'll stop with that. Text number 28, maybe you can take tomorrow because we have short time already. It's 9:20.
Okay,
Is
Prabhu.
that okay? Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyam Dadati Swapatantikam Deham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Sri Rupam Sagaragatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vedam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lita Sri Vishaka Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavneshwari Ushabhanushteni Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalkatarubhyasya Kripa Sandubhyosya Padita Nam Pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Mahom Vishnupadaya Shabdastaya Budale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamne Namacharya Padanitaya Kripapurayane Gauragatramdaya Naragamtarne Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Swami Nityananda Karoti Vachalam Ongum Langai Tegrimet Kapat Mahamante Sri Guru Dantam Paramananda Madhav Sri Chaitanya Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, His Grace Sukagar Krishna Prabhuji, my
Hare Krishna, Dhanapranam. Hare Krishna, Dhanapranam.
all glories unto you.
After a very long time.
Yes, Prabhuji, a very long time. So, this is the continuation of what happens in the Yajnashala after Daksha. He offended Lord Shiva by not inviting him to partake in the grand yajna. And the pati of Lord Shiva, while she fully understands the position of Lord Shiva, as well as the position of her father Daksha, she somehow want to, bridge the gap, as we call it now in English, bridge the gap. So she was trying to do that, but then later on we know what is that, what happened in the previous chapter, we read that. And in this material world, what we are witnessing today in the form of rage or anger, raga, dvesha. And Krishna is also mentioning about how this raga and dvesha are really causing a great havoc in this world. And exactly we can see a similar situation that is enacted even amongst the Prajapatis as well as the servants of the topmost Vaishnava like Lord Shiva. And that's why in the purports, the Prabhupada is mentioning very clearly and referring to the quotes of Chaitanya Charitamrita that anything within this material world, whether that may be a boon or a curse, both are in the same material platform. In any case, whether it is enjoyment or suffering, they are all temporary. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. We have this information from Bhagavad Gita. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he himself, he has shown us the way how to live in this world. And unfortunately, when some readers of Srimad Bhagavatam, if they suddenly jump into this fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and read the 24th chapter, second chapter, they might definitely get confused. And they may even start, the followers of Lord Shiva are all going to be in a very different kind of a persons. They're all going to be non-believer. They're all going to be atheists. Such kind of a, immature interpretation will happen. That's why our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he very strongly recommended for a student in Krishna consciousness, one has to go in a properly systematic study process. We first study the Bhagavad Gita, understand the basics of the Krishna consciousness, then come to the next level of study, Srimad Bhagavatam, and you start studying from Canto 1, Chapter 1, Sloka number 1. Then you will understand the inner meanings of what is happening here. Otherwise, definitely one will be deluded. Suddenly somebody is only reading the Chapter 2 and wherein the Bhrigu Muni's curse and Nandishwara's curse, all these kind of, leelas cannot be understood simply by one speculation or simply by one misinterpretation. It's very, very, difficult. It's not easy to understand. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has shown us that he even when he visited in South India, he has visited several dhams. And out of the several dhams, there are also, he included to visit the dhams of Lord Shiva. Not only the dhams of Lord Shiva, even he visited a very famous temple which is dedicated to Bhairavi, Durga Devi. We see that in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Madhya Leela, in chapter 9, you can see wherein Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's travel in the South India has been very nicely described. There he is, it's very nicely mentioned. Go samaje Shiva dekhi aila vedavana. in a place called Vedavana. He is visiting to, sorry, there's a phone ringing. I have to just put that in silent. Yeah, I'm sorry. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he visited in South India, he visited a temple near Tanjavur district. And it is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita very nicely. Mahadeva Deki Thame Karila Vandana. He said he did Vandana to Lord Shiva. He showed us. Why? Because Lord Shiva by himself is not a personality in the mode of ignorance. He is person in charge of the mode of ignorance, but not a person he himself in the mode of ignorance. So that has to be very, very clearly understood by a student of Bhagavatam. Unless this point is properly understood, he will be definitely deviating and misunderstanding the whole thing. So the Lord, when he visited this place known as Go Samaja, while he saw Lord Shiva's temple, he then arrived there and then he immediately offered his prayers to Lord Shiva. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than an incarnation of Sri Radha and Krishna, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahi Anya, we read that. So when he is praying to Lord Shiva, how can somebody can say, oh, the followers of Lord Shiva are all, atheists and impersonalists? Yes, that's also true. At the same time, they are also not true. So there are, contradictory situations. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, philosophy. What is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy? Veda Abeda Tattva. Same time one and same time different also. So same time, the followers of Lord Shiva, there are two categories. One category trying to follow and please please Lord Shiva and trying to derive some material benefits. That is one type. Another type is they take the instructions of Lord Shiva and follow that. That is the biggest type. What Lord Shiva has instructed. If somebody you want to really please, you really want to get benedictions from higher authority, then what we should do, we should follow their instructions, not mimic them or copy them or do something which we are not even capable of. That's why Srila Prabhupada says, Lord Shiva drank poison. Can we do that? But some people, some very uneducated and, illiterate in the Vedic scriptures, they try to copy that by consuming all these intoxicants like, ganja and so many other bhang, so many other things, all these things are happening. You see, as I mentioned, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's also mentioned that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited Kali Mata's temple also. This is actually located in between Tanjavur and Trichy. The temple is still there. Siyaher Bhairavi Devi Kare Darshana. And that is located on the banks of the Kaveri. And he took bath in the Kaveri also in Trichy, in Srirangam. Kaverira Tira Aila Sachira Nandana. This is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The river Kaveri is mentioned there. So we have here sufficient evidence that how one should treat the topmost devotees of the Supreme Lord and follow their instruction, not try to copy them in a way wherein one can just try to enjoy this material so-called comforts or so-called intoxication. That is not actually the right attitude. Actually in Bhagavatam we see a complete chapter called Rudra Gidam. In the same 4th canto, it comes later in the later portions. We will be reading that. In the 24th chapter, nearly 40 slokas, Lord Shiva is speaking to the sons of King Prachina Barhi, Prachetas. See, the Prachetas, they performed great austerity. They're all the devotees of Lord Vishnu. They went under the sea and they were meditating upon the Lord for hundreds of years, being pleased with their such a nice, wonderful devotion towards Lord Vasudeva, then Lord Shiva himself appears in front of him. That is the beauty. You see, many times what happens, people, they beg for darshan of Lord Shiva or Lord Krishna, but they don't come. Why? Because they are not performing the right activity. They have a different agenda in their mind. I want this, I want that, I want to do this, I want to do that. No. Lord Shiva will appear wherever there is a proper devotional service to Lord Krishna. And that's why Lord Shiva is very nicely saying, Yah param ram harshah sakshat tri guna jiva samjina tat bhagavantam vasudevam prapannam sa priyo hime. Who is priyo hime? Who is most dear to me? Is that person who performs the Bhagavat Seva to Lord Vasudeva. He's saying that very nicely in the 4th canto or the 4th chapter sloka. Anyone who is performing, any living entity who is performing unalloyed devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, that person is very dear. Even though here, we are reading here in this sloka today, that sloka number 27, now Bhrigu Muni is cursing. Bhrigu Muni is cursing to the followers of Lord Shiva. But Shiva is telling, whoever is performing devotion service unto Lord Krishna, they are very dear to me and he will protect personally. So here what we can see, all these material curses given by Bhrigu or anyone else in this material world, it's all nullified by the superior plan of Lord Krishna. That is the most important. So Lord Shiva, he personally appears there to serve them. And there he is, preaching to the Prachetas. He is glorifying Krishna. He is describing, he is glorifying the Chaturvyuha of Krishna in the chapter. And then from the tip of his toenail till his top of his head, he is glorifying Lord Vishnu and Krishna. How wonderful he looks. What kind of a dress he is wearing. What kind of ornaments he is wearing. He is describing in very great detail. So it's not very easy to attain, the pleasure of Lord Shiva also. Because to attain the pleasure of Lord Shiva, one has to become a very great devotee of Krishna. And to become a great devotee of Krishna is still also not very easy. That also is told in Bhagavad Gita. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan Vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. So very rare, Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prabhatyante. Very difficult, very, very rare. And one who surrenders to Krishna, that's not easy. And when such person only will be dear to Krishna, Lord Shiva. Otherwise, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. So we have to be having the right understanding. Oh, when I go to Lord Shiva, then I am getting this, so he is the topmost. That is a very wrong understanding. And Prabhupada, many times he mentions that. That is one of the major aparatha. When we chant, we also read and chant the 10 offenses. To consider the demigods of like Lord Shiva and Brahma to be on the same platform of Lord Vishnu. We read that every day. So that is also wrong. When somebody is thinking that, they are all in the same position. No, they are not in the same position. So Lord Shiva cannot be seen by common man. Just ordinary people cannot see. He has to become a fully surrendered soul unto Vasudeva. Then only they will be able to see that. Otherwise, it's difficult. That's why he's saying Mahatma Sudurlabha. Very, very rare. It's not going to be easy. And consequently, what happens when Lord Shiva becomes, he is specially, happy and pleased with such people, he comes and, awards them everything so that they can smash all the hurdles in this material world to attain the lotus feet of Krishna. That is the real mercy. Otherwise, we keep on, trying to remove one hurdle, then we end up in another hurdle. It is something like, I don't know. I mean, it's many years now since I'm out of UAE, but now I am at least for the past 5-6 years here in India, I'm seeing there is not a single road you can travel at a, speed more than 40 kilometers. Every, 200 meters, you will have a hurdle. You will have either a speed break, or you will have somebody has dug a road and that is not properly filled, or you will have a detour, or you will have some kind of a people coming from different directions. You do not know what will happen the next moment. So hurdles are huge in number, huge in. So one who, for in this material world itself, we are finding it so much of difficulty. And moreover, this is just I'm talking about only traffic. Then talk about the mind. We having in India, particularly in the life in the Middle East, in the Gulf, I'm vouching is definitely much more peaceful, because you are less and less distracted by the so-called familial functions and cultural this thing and that thing, drama, dialogue, so many things. I have this function in my house. I have this, sad event in my house. So both dukkha and sukha, and everywhere you have to go, relatives will get, different, and they will try to, even you will be kept outside of their community. So many different problems here. In Gulf, you can just perform peacefully. You have very nice satsanga, very nice arrangement, have nice, wonderful prasadam, enjoy yourself with Krishna consciousness. Very nice place. But despite all these difficulties, we have, initially, I was also on the same question. It's very difficult to preach in India. Yes, true. Very difficult to preach in India. But I tell you what, after attempts, so many times, attempts, and especially by the efforts of Srila Prabhupada and his very wonderful disciples who are today acharyas, they have done a very great seva. Now in India, you see the number of devotees, it's unbelievable. Any temple in India you take now, how many hundreds and thousands of devotees are now coming and taking the opportunity to serve Krishna. And it's all happening now. So many new temples are coming. So it is only a mercy of Krishna. So what happens here in India? Anyone who has really, got the mercy of getting his candle lit by some other devotee, like how I got lit by my dear most and I could say my life and soul, my dear Sukha Krishna Prabhu, he has lit my candle. And now I am trying to light other candles. So this is how we just keep on moving around. So thank you very much, Sukha Prabhu, for lighting the candle of my life. So
you are a wonderful devotee. The way you are preaching is far excellent, Prabhu. Really, I'm so proud of you.
So
I'm proud of you.
So Vasudeva is actually, even we can see the very first sloka of, the Srimad Bhagavatam is what? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Vasudeva, anyone who surrendered, automatically he becomes pleased to Lord Shiva. This is something which we have to understand very clearly. And it is also mentioned in Bhagavatam that not only Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma and all other demigods, they are all surrendering to Krishna. We see that in the 12th canto, when you come there, in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a very nice verse. They is saying now, Yani Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaya Straivataha. Very nicely said. Everybody worships Krishna. The only difference is our worship and then their worship is totally different. Here in this world, the human beings, we worship for our own material gains. And all these Brahma, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Lord Shiva, they are all watching very closely the human beings, what kind of devotion they are having. Are they fully surrendered or only doing the karmic activity, or are they doing the karma bhakti, karma mishra bhakti? Is it the bhakti mixed with the karma? Because normally we see a very nice common thing. A karma yogi, what he does after performing all his activities, he's saying, now everything I am offering to Krishna. He's saying, I am offering everything to Krishna. Simply, he thinks that is what is really devotional service. That is not devotional service. You cannot do anything and everything and say, oh, I am offering to Krishna. No, that's not Krishna. So Prabhupada very clearly said, that's not actually Krishna. That is basically you are expecting Krishna to give you more and more karmic functions. That's all. So this is not actually the real, what do you call that? Devotional service. So they have this, mixed devotion along with the karmic. So we have to be very careful in what we are doing it. So it should be what here, Lord Shiva, when it comes to the question of his preaching, he's saying 100% you have to be Krishna conscious or serving to Krishna. Why? Because Krishna himself, he's saying, you know what he's saying? He said that you Jivatmas, you are not in this material kind of entity. You do not belong to this category of my energy. He's saying apareyam itastwanyam prakritim viddhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho ye dam dharayate jagat. So you are different. You are para. You are not apara. Whereas the material energy is apara. Why you are going and conjifying and kulavi with this material world? Don't do that. But the moment when we come in contact with this material world and when we become influenced by the three modes of material nature, what happens? Naturally, the status, what has happened to Nandishwara, though he is one of the wonderful followers of Lord Shiva, because of the influence of the material modes of nature, he suddenly gets angry and he starts killing and beheading and cursing everybody. All those things are happening. So we have to be very clear. And Krishna has said very clearly in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Mama ivamso jiva loke. He said, Mama iva amsha, you are my amsha, this jiva loka. Now, just because we have this, mind and the five senses, Jiva bhuta, you are all sanatana, manashastani indriyani, prakritistani karshati. With your six senses, that includes the mind, you are struggling in this material world. That's correct. First, we have to accept the fact that we are struggling. Many times, we don't even accept that. We think anybody you ask the phone, how are you? I am fine. This particular statement also was told to me in the very beginning classes by Shukogar Prabhu. He keeps telling anybody, what fine? Every day you are getting traffic fine. Every day you are getting this fine and that fine. That is the only fine you get actually. The reality, there is nothing for no fine actually. But we all cheat ourselves by saying, oh, I am fine. So we have to really become. And then there are two types of, jivas also. That also Krishna is mentioned in the Dvavima Purusham Loke Shara Chakshara Evacha. He's saying that. There are two types, Shara and Akshara. There are two types. Shara means fallen, Akshara means unfallen. So those who are in this material world, we are all fallen jivas. In other words, Prabhupada, those who are fallen conditioned soul, they are called as the Jiva Samjinita. They are called Jiva Samjinita. They are all, contaminated and then attaching themselves to the material nature. So these just, then Krishna is also saying, apart from this, there is another living entity, which is me. That is Krishna. He is above these fallen and unfallen souls. So anyone who understands this particular information, Uttama Purushastvanyaha, Paramatmeti Udahrata. What he does, he enters into each and every material world and he operates that. It's not been done by me or done by anybody else. It is being all done by the Supreme Lord, see Krishna. So we have to be very clear about that. And he confirms that even in the 14th chapter. Brahmano hi pratishtanam. Everything is happening, including the impersonal Brahman. It's all from me. So once anyone understands that even Lord Brahma, he himself, he is confirming, in Brahma Samhita. What is confirming? Yasya prabha prabhato jagadanta koti swaseshva vasudadi vibhudi bhinnam. All these things are happening. It's all because of who? Because of Lord Sri Krishna. Once anyone understands that, then there is no question of rage. There is no question of cursing each other. There is no question of even expecting a boon. Nothing is required. But basic understanding is we have to Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudha. So in all respects, Vasudeva, he should be the person to whom everyone should should submit. That's why he is saying that in Bhagavad Gita 5.29. What is he saying? Bhuktaram yajyatapasam sarvaloha maheswaram suhurdam sarva bhutanam yatma mam shanti. Then only one can achieve the shanti. Otherwise, no. He mentioned that in several places in Bhagavad Gita. And finally, he is telling that sarva dharman parityaja. That is the last sloka he is saying in the 18th chapter 66. No? Aham tvam sarva papebhi. You just directly surrender to me. I will take care of all your problems. Then why do we bother? We then, what happens? We don't think, oh, still we don't believe in Krishna. No, 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 no. I have to go to this demigod. I have to go to that demigod. I have to do this vrata, that puja. And then I will be very happy. I'll remove all these. No, that route is very difficult. Krishna has told also. Yes, you can. If you want, you can go through the route of impersonalism. You can go through the routes of other yajna and yoga methods. But that's very, very difficult. Confirm that. So we have to be very careful. What is the easiest methodology given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Just take the name of Lord Sri Krishna, chant and be happy. Same thing given by our Prabhupada. So we need to be more intelligent. That intelligence comes from Krishna. He said that in the 10th chapter in the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, he's saying, I give you the intelligence. So when Krishna has given us the intelligence, let us better take it immediately, not waste our time and, thinking that, oh, all these people, they have gone and they become the devotees of Lord Shiva. I will also go, I will do this, I will do that. Then all my problems will be resolved. No, 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 chance, no chance. So the conclusion is that a devotee of Lord Shiva is not dear to Lord Shiva. This is the most important thing. You have to understand that. A devotee of Lord Shiva is not dear to Lord Shiva. But a devotee of Krishna is very dear to Lord Shiva. If one understands this bottom line principle, then he is considered as intelligent. And this is told even by Lord Shiva himself directly. He's saying that a person who executes his occupational duty properly for 100 births. How many births in the human being form? 100 births. Then he becomes qualified to occupy the post of Brahma. Then after that only he can approach Lord Shiva. So to approach Lord Shiva is not easy. First of all, one has to achieve to the post of Lord Brahma. Then he can approach Lord Shiva. And a person who directly surrendered to Krishna or Vishnu with his unalloyed devotion service, what happens? He immediately promoted to the spiritual planets, and he does not go through this big route of taking 100 births and performing occupational duty perfectly, becoming Lord Brahma, then going to see Lord Shiva. No need to take all these routes. This is told directly by Shiva. So Lord Shiva and other demigods, what happens? They all attain these plans after the destruction of this material. So we have to be very careful. They also don't go directly. They go only after the material devastation. But a devotee, he can directly go the moment he is fully surrendered. And in another sloka, Lord Shiva is telling, to Prachetas, the sons of, they are all, wonderful Vaishnavas. They all performing devotional service and meditating on the Lord Vishnu. So he is saying that now, because you are doing this austerity for Lord Vishnu, I am now giving you more confidential information about Krishna. So even to receive confidential information about Krishna is also not easy. Who is giving that? Lord Shiva is giving that. So when Lord Shiva, similarly we can find in Padma Purana, he is glorifying. We also read this, Gita Mahatmyam. Every chapter of the Gita he is glorifying, and he's telling the benefits of reading the chapters of Bhagavad Gita. And he's telling this to his wife, Mother Parvati, the secrets of the glories of Lord Bhagavad Gita. So imagine what are all pleases Lord Shiva. So the reason why we are discussing all these things today, no one should get misinterpreted or misguided by the curses or the slokas, what we are reading here in this particular section, that just because Bhrigu has, chastised or cursed, oh, that means Lord Shiva, all these things they are doing, they will be mad, they will all impersonal. True, but who are those people whom he is cursing? Those who are blindly following the Lord Shiva. As we just mentioned, Lord Shiva will not be pleased to his followers. He will be pleased only for those who follow and worship Lord Vishnu. That we must understand. So here the curse by Bhrigu or what with the next few slokas, you will also hear from that what sort of curse he is going to give. We do not have to get disturbed by that. Very, very important. We do not have to get into it. Because Lord Shiva is telling, my dear Lord, all living entities within this material world are simply bad after planning for things. And they're always busy with a desire to do this or that. This is told by Lord Shiva directly. They are all busy with this material world. This is due to what? Uncontrollable greed. Why they go to the Lord Shiva? Because of uncontrollable greed. I want this, I want that, I want that. So that greed for material enjoyment is always existing in the living entity. So, but one, when you worship, is always, when a person is always alert, then they go not to just such kind of a low level of, surrender to any of the demigods. And in the due course of time, what happens? He actually wakes up. Oh, this desire snake, it is biting me every single moment, and it is injecting poison in me. But still, I am not waking up. So one time, he will come and give a big tapa, pat. Then what happens? We move from this human body to another lower forms of body. And we don't even know what is going to happen. And then we once again enter into the cycle of 8,400,000 species. And then our life keeps on rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. One has to come to the understanding what is happening. Yatanto yoginas chainam, very nicely. Paschyanti atmani avastitam. We have to become yogis. Yogi means one who understands Lord Krishna and one who understands the real connection and the relationship between a Jivatma and the Lord. Once we understand that, then our life can be successful. And we will not really be bothered about all these, the so-called boon or curse, or this is happening to me, this is happening to me, that. So Lord Shiva is telling, my dear Lord, any learned person knows that unless he worships you, his entire life is spoiled. He's saying, it's just samayevahi kevalam. There's no way usage of him living. His life is just like a bellows, blowing the air. You also breathe, the bellows also breathe. It also takes in air and spits air out. We also do that. So what is the difference between a bellow and a human being? No difference. So knowing this, how one can give up worshipping the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Even our spiritual father, and spiritual master Lord Brahma, he is also worshipping. So everybody is worshipping Lord Krishna, and why not you, human beings, worship Lord Krishna? Then I will provide you all facilities, no problem. So that's what promised by Lord Shiva. And I just would like to conclude this discussion by just finally saying only one more reference from Srimad Bhagavatam, wherein in the 12th chapter again he is saying that Nimna Ganam Yatha Ganga Devanam Achido Yatha Vaishnavanam Yatha Sambhuho Purananam Idam Tata. This sloka we all have heard several times, right? This is coming in Bhagavatam, glorifying Lord Shiva, and Srimad Bhagavatam, as well as Ganga. So here what is saying is in the 12th canto, chapter 13, there is coming. No, Ganga is the greatest of all rivers. And Lord Achyuta, the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna, he is the supreme among all the deities. And Lord Shambhu, or Shiva, is the greatest Vaishnava, as much as Srimad Bhagavatam is the greatest of all Puranas. So having this information in our mind and having great, our intellect properly fixed on the instructions of Lord Shiva, we must make our life successful by surrendering unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and Lord Shiva will be pleased. And we do not have to bother about any type of curse or boon by anybody in this material world. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Tat Sat, Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai.
Wonderful
Hare
class.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank Thank you so much for wonderful class, Prabhu.
Hari
Giving-
Bol, all glories to my devotee, my Guru Maharaj, my Siksha Gurus and wonderful senior Vaishnavas. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, giving so much clarity about the dealing with Vaishnava Nam Yada Sambho and how one should not be committing any mistakes while dealing with devotees of Lord, devotees of Krishna and same time and some Shankar. Prabhuji, my question is, so in this sense, both should we understand that both Brahmani and Nandishra, both of them, what they did is wrong?
Okay. This is actually, we are not qualified to say whether they have done something is wrong or right. First of all, number one.
Okay.
Number two, all these are all plans for the Leela of Lord Shri Krishna. As much as Lord Krishna, he even instructed Lord Shiva to go and preach impersonalism, Mayavada.
Okay.
Okay. So we have references for that in Srimad Bhagavatam. And Lord Shiva also has told Parvati that I am going to be born in a Brahmana family in this material world and I will preach the Mayavada philosophy as instructed by Lord Sri Krishna. So we should not immediately, we cannot jump into a conclusion, oh, Lord Krishna only did mistake. He only put this, Mayavada. No, that's not the understanding. So we are not here to, even say that who is wrong or who is right. From the outcome of this entire drama or this Leela, what we should take home our message is not to get bogged down, not to get, anchored in this material world and look this material world as the one and the only thing. These are all like, passing clouds, but we should understand what is our real identity and what is our real goal of life. And once we have to raise above these material situations. So these dramas and dialogues, whatever is happening, these are all in the material platform, all arranged by Krishna to make us realize that these things and all will be really, someone only read this section, they will be only confused and they will only stay back in this world. So we should raise above this and understand who is Lord Shiva and why they behave like that and in what mode of, material nature they are behaving like that. So what should be our take-home message? Are we also going to be the same situation or do we want to? How? So that should be our, the real concern rather than saying that he is right or wrong or they are, no. As we mentioned in the beginning, Lord Shiva, he himself is not in the mode of ignorance, though he is the presiding deity of the mode of ignorance. He is not in ignorance. So similarly, Brahmuni or Nandishwara, they have performed this particular act as per the plan and instruction of Supreme. So we take that message.
It's a Leela, it has happened to teach all of
Yes.
us.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare
Such a clarity. And Prabhu, in the 10 offenses, second offense is not considering Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or like that we are saying, independent of Lord Vishnu. So
Yeah.
this is second aparad. The first aparad is blaspheming any devotee who was dedicated to the life of the propagating the name of the. So in that sense, we must be very careful. Lord Shiva is the Vaishnava Nam Yada Sambho. So he is here to propagate the holy name. We also know that when we go to Kashi Vishwanath temple and we pray, please, Lord Mahadev, please remind me the names of Vishnu when I'm leaving the body. Like that, we have to pray. So in that sense, we must be very careful in blaspheming or any demeaning Lord Mahadev in the context of first aparad also. Correct, Prabhu?
Actually, there is no question of demeaning, Prabhu. Forget about that. There is no question only. Forget about that. There is no question.
Prabhu. Some
We say
devotees.
that when somebody visits the temples of not only Lord Shiva or any other demigod, all our only focus and prayers will be they are serving to Lord Sri Krishna. I am here to beg you so that I also be a servant of Lord Krishna. That's all.
Okay. So my question is, Prabhu, because it's a specific question. one very, very ardent devotee of Lord Shiva came to our satsang and is continued to be Lord Shiva worshipper and he started chanting 16 rounds and all that. But but he is having all Gaurnitai on the altar, but Lord Shiva also. So what should we do in this context?
Ask him to start reading Srimad Bhagavatam, preferably from the beginning, and then you ask him to focus on the Canto 4, Chapter 24, on the prayers of Lord Shiva, and explain him what the instructions of Lord Shiva. So if he is a real worshipper of Lord Shiva, then he should take the instructions of Lord Shiva seriously.
Okay.
If you want to work in your company, you will take your boss instruction, yes or no?
Yes.
You cannot say, I am working in this company, but I won't take your instructions.
We cannot say that, yeah.
So, Lord Shiva, you have to go read carefully, meticulously what he has instructed. And then follow. Ask him specifically to read the sloka number 60 to 65 in that chapter. Then he will understand, okay, this is the instruction of Lord Shiva. So then you can tell him very clearly, yeah, okay, you be the follower of Lord Shiva. See, there's a difference between being a follower of Lord Shiva and a devotee of Lord Shiva. There's two different things.
Thank you
Like
so much.
we are all followers of Srila Prabhupada. We have Prabhupada's Murti in our temples. We worship Prabhupada. We offer Guru Arati to our Prabhupada. Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
But in what sense we do that? We do that on what sense? Why we do offer Arati? That means he has become God or what?
No.
You understand what I'm saying?
Sakshat Haritva.
Yes. So we follow, that's why we call us Prabhupada Anugas. We are calling ourselves as Prabhupada Anugas. So we follow their instructions, follow in their footsteps. And we follow our individual spiritual masters. We sing every day in our Guru Arati also.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Lord Shiva's follower means that he has to follow his instructions. And his understanding should be Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava of all. And we also try to, because Krishna, Lord Shiva said that I am very pleased with those who are servants of Lord Shiva. I mean, Lord Krishna. So he said, okay. So if you want to please Lord Shiva, then you better you follow his instructions. Keeping the deities or pictures of Lord Shiva in your altar is a completely different matter altogether.
That's what, yeah.
That you don't have to confuse this and that. Definitely he's a Vaishnava now, as much as we are keeping our Guru Parampara in our altar, yes or no?
Yes, we are keeping.
Yeah.
It's not an offense.
So you don't really, but don't make that equal to, as you all mentioned, as we all discussed, we cannot equate and keep them on the same level. As we keep in the lowermost bottom, we keep the Guru Parampara. Similarly, you have to really find the right location for Lord Shiva also.
Okay. Okay. Then slowly he will understand. Okay, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for such a clarity. But Prabhu, you said the 65th, 60 to 65 verse, the same chapter, no, Prabhu?
424.
424, yes, 424. That's one full chapter, 40 slokas, Rudra Geetam.
Yeah. Actually, the people who are Shiva followers, if they don't come and read Prabhupada's book, they will not understand what is the position of Shiva, what is Krishna. They'll get confused. We are all Shivites, you're all Vaishnavites. They just don't know. Ignorance. We should not look down upon them. If possible, we should share. But they should be ready to openly come and listen and see. Hey, you're all Prabhupada right like that. You don't know. Like they think they're two different compartments. It's the same team.
Absolutely.
One is chairman, another one is managing director. That's all.
Absolutely, bro.
Actually, when Lord Shiva was having, after the Samudra Manthan, the Visham, that poison he took, why nothing happening? Because first they offered to Brahma. Brahma said, I don't know, he just ran away. And Shiva just took it. And the explanation given is, Shiva is always calling Rama, 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 Rama. He's the Rama Bhakta actually. And he was taking wish from in the mouth, and Ram is coming from out. So wish Ram. It became a Vishram. Nothing happened to him because Prahlad also happened the same thing. When he was being hit and all, he was always telling Supreme Lord himself, says, if you have the Krishna's name, means nothing can touch. That's why nothing happened. That Visha could not go inside. The Ram has put them out. That's why the holy name is so powerful.
Yes. And Krishna also has confirmed that he himself is expanded as Lord Shiva. In the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he's saying, Rudranam Sankarashchasmi.
Yes.
So he has confirmed that he only has expanded that. So we have to give all the due respects to him. But only thing is, now our surrender should be under the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. That's the whole.
That's Shiva himself is telling. He's himself telling in Rudra Gita, you should do that.
Yes, exactly. Anyone else has got anything to share, or you have anything?
Anjali Mataji, कुछ आपको पूछना है अंजलि माताजी आपको? कितने बढ़िया क्लास किया प्रभु ने?
बहुत अच्छी क्लास प्रभु जी, हरि बोल। बहुत अच्छी क्लास थी प्रभु जी। ये मेरा पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस है प्रभु जी कि जैसे कोई अगर शिव का भक्त है, जैसे मैं भी करती थी पहले, शिव पूजा करती थी मैं भी, और मुझे भी नहीं पता था। हम कृष्ण की भी पूजा करते थे और शिव की भी करते थे। बट जैसे मेरे मामा जी इस्कॉन से जुड़े हुए थे, तो हमें भी कुछ लगता था कि वो बोलते हैं कि कृष्ण सर्वोपरि हैं, ऐसे बोलते थे वो। और उन्होंने सारी भक्ति सब पूजा पाठ मतलब सब बंद कर दिया था, सिर्फ वो कृष्ण भक्ति करते थे। तो हमको मतलब मेरा पर्सनल ये है कि मुझे लगता था कि ऐसा मतलब नहीं है कि सबका अलग अलग है। तो बट जैसे जब मैं इस्कॉन से जुड़ी, जब मैंने बुक्स में पढ़ा, खुद पढ़ा, जैसे बुक से रीड करके या जो लेक्चर सुने, तो उसमें हर जगह दिया हुआ है, मेंशन किया हुआ है कि जो लॉर्ड कृष्ण है वो ही सर्वोपरि है। तो जब धीरे धीरे जब कोई भी व्यक्ति आता है कृष्ण भक्ति में धीरे धीरे, तो वो अपने आप ही मतलब समझ जाता है। उसको बताने की जरूरत नहीं होती है कि मतलब उसे कि आप लॉर्ड शिव कौन है, या फिर और भी जो भी हैं लॉर्ड भगवान है, तो उनको आप कैसे पूछते हो, तो उनको बताने की जरूरत नहीं होती। वो जैसे जैसे एंटर करता है, जितनी उसकी भक्ति ऊपर जाती है, वो अपने आप ही समझ जाता है कि सिर्फ एक ही ईश्वर है और एक ही परम पुरुष परमात्मा है जिसका हमें आश्रय लेना है, जिसकी शरण लेनी है। बाकी अगर हम उनकी भक्ति करते हैं तो वो सबकी भक्ति, जैसे कि अब कोई भी कृष्ण भक्त है तो बहुत सारे वेद पुराण हैं, सब नहीं पढ़ सकते। अगर हमने भागवतम पढ़ ली है और भगवत गीता पढ़ ली है तो हमें बाकी सबकी पढ़ने की जरूरत नहीं है। उसी तरह से अगर हम कृष्ण भक्ति करते हैं तो हम सबकी भक्ति कर लेते हैं, वो ही सर्वोपरि परमात्मा है। तो वो हमें धीरे धीरे ऑटोमेटिकली आ जाता है अगर हम इसमें एंटर करते हैं। तो एकदम से तो किसी को नहीं बता सकते, धीरे धीरे जब वो आता है तो जब पढ़ेगा, रीड करेगा, लेक्चर सुनेगा कोई, तो अपने आप ही समझ जाएगा कि कौन क्या है। ये मेरा पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस है प्रभु जी।
ठीक बता, आपने ठीक बताया।
हरे कृष्ण।
इसमें
एक्चुअली लॉर्ड,
yes Prabhu,
Lord Shiva himself, Parvati was asking that why you are not able to give liberation. He told, no, mukti pradata sarvesham Vishnu reva na samchaya. He himself has told.
Yes.
So, you were telling something to Mataji. आप कुछ बोल रहे थे प्रभु. You were telling something. You wanted to tell something.
Actually, what I was trying to tell to Mataji, basically, yes, what Mataji is understanding is quite good. But however, it is very, very important that we read Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam with the purpose of Srila Prabhupada. I'll tell you why. Because Srila Prabhupada, he himself has mentioned this. In his, if you read the Leela Amrita of Srila Prabhupada, there he mentioned that. He is saying that these books, what you are seeing in front of you, that is so-called written by me, are actually not my own words. These are all dictated by Krishna sitting on me.
Yeah.
And he also mentioned that my spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he has preached me. He has given me what to write. So he is saying that all the books, that's why Prabhupada, he does that. That's why I am reading my own books. So it is very important that everyone reads the Prabhupada book, because these are all the words of Sri Krishna, words of the higher authority. So the translation, the purports in each of the books of Srila Prabhupada are directly given by Krishna. So that is very important. Unless we study them and read them with attention, then we will not be, though we may externally seem to be performing lots of seva. Yes, okay, that's good. We may, okay, every day I'm doing puja, this and that, all are fine, no problem. But unless we read and get the proper understanding, jnana vijnana sahitam, that's why Krishna in Bhagavad Gita repeatedly saying, I am sharing this confidential knowledge to you, my dear Arjuna. Why he should repeatedly saying that? Because he is saying that because you are my dearmost and you are a devotee, that's why I am sharing it. So when we become a devotee, that means we have to read and get directly the instructions from Krishna, so that we have no more misunderstanding, no more unnecessary interpretations, misinterpretation. So we directly take it from that. So that is one of the important activities we can all do, Mataji. Every day, Srila Prabhupada said, every day you must read at least 2 hours. He said that. Every day you read. You can be a devotee who has been initiated, Brahmanically initiated, this and that. Okay, no problem. All
2 hours.
2 hours daily you read. Every day you read 2 hours, and then your life will be successful. Otherwise, no. He's saying that this is very important. Otherwise, what happens? We will start, what kind of preaching we can do, so many things, that's all, external factor. But for our own understanding, we must read. We must understand what is the, context of each and every word. Very important. Okay, Mataji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Fantastic.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjali Mataji. BS Prabhu, question, Rika. BS Prabhu.
No question. Wonderful clarity Prabhuji has given. Really.
Prabhu, I have not given anything. I am just only
narrating
same thing from Prabhupada. So all glories to Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj.
Actually, in the last almost 1.5 years, we are listening to various classes. Actually, our own perception of this aspect is becoming more and more clear. And whatever earlier misconceptions were there, it is getting cleared actually. It is there. I mean, the change I can notice. The perception of everybody, not only myself, even other participants also, everybody's perception is changing on this aspect.
Prabhu, that is the magic of Srila Prabhupada. And you know what? I think I saw yesterday or today, I don't remember. I think yesterday maybe. In a country called Suriname. There is a country by name Suriname. You know what?
Yes.
They have now one, he's called devotee in a top post, and he's, what do you call it? They take the oath, when they become a minister and all those things in a government position. And yes, they have conducted this ceremony with the Srila Prabhupada book. And they are chanting the Pranam mantra of Prabhupada and Panchadasa mantra, and they're chanting all the, Gauranga mantra and Krishna mantra, and then they are taking oath. This is happening.
Which country, Prabhu? Suriname. Where is it?
Suriname.
Suriname is a Caribbean country, Prabhu. It's a Pacific Ocean island.
Yes.
And the video is shared today, Prabhu, in many groups.
Yeah, very wonderful.
Very wonderful.
Can you just send it? Can you send it?
I'll share with you.
Okay.
It's wonderful. It's something, I mean, I was really, excited. Completely, I can't explain how it is. Oh, wow. The prophecy of Prabhupada is becoming a reality. One day the devotees will be the leaders of the world, and it's becoming reality.
When Tulsi Gabbard was chosen as the senator of US Congress, she also took oath of Prabhupada books.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita on the name of Bhagavad Gita and my spiritual master. I take oath like that. This is US Congress. Tulsi Gabbard also took oath of Srila Prabhupada's book.
Okay.
So yesterday I got Prabhupada's one message. If Brahmaji did the srishti of the whole world, but Prabhupada did the srishti of the bhakti, and Brahmaji did the whole Brahmanda creation, but Prabhupada did the Rasadhara Nirman, and Shiva did the destruction of the whole world whenever the Mahapralaya comes, but Prabhupada did the Kalikala Nasha. Kalikal he removed. And Shiva made an atom bomb where everybody is killed, but they are still having the Atma to take again with the karma. But Prabhupada from the root, he took them to Golok Vrindavan. So now after telling, they're telling Vishnu also created everyone, but Prabhupada created Satya Yuga and Kali Yuga. I'll tell you this. Indra created rain, but Prabhupada created rain of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. And then finally they are written, who is bigger, Surya Dev or Krishna? Prabhupada is great because Surya Bhagavan is only giving sun, but Prabhupada put the sun inside our body and removed the darkness. So is Indra great or Prabhupada great? Prabhupada great. Shiva great or Prabhupada great? Prabhupada great. Brahma great or Prabhupada great? Prabhupada great. Vishnu great or Prabhupada? Vishnu is happy because Bhakta Vatsa.
Yeah.
I'll send you this.
Yeah.
And he has told, Prabhupada has told the sixth Goswami you should every day worship because sixth Goswami is so powerful that he removes the six Kama, Krodha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya and he takes you to the six opulence of Krishna. So he removes and brings. And sixth Goswami you should remember because all the four verses of Nectar of Instruction, Atyahara Prayasascha, then what is that? Vacho Vegam, Manasakruta Vegam, Ussa Nichadhara, Dadadi, all six. So all the six would be perfect if you are remembering six Goswami and Anukula Sasanga. That's also six. And Putana was killed when Krishna was 6 days old. And Putana came with Kam, Krodh, all the six he came. And it is written in the 10th canto, 6th chapter. So the 6 number is very great for Gaudiya.
Hari Bol, yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you, Rameswar Prabhu. Thank you, Ratnakar Prabhu. You are very enlightening class. Fantastic.
Krishna, all glories to you, all
Thank you,
glories to the
Prabhuji.
Vaishnava Parampara, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Vancha Kalpadurubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Devacha
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo
He is great. Ratnakar Gauranga Prabhu ki jai ho.
Jai ho.
Hari Bol, Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Gauranga, Nityananda, Nityananda, Gauranga, Gauranga, Nityananda. Jai Jai Shri Radheshyam. सबको मिले वृंदावन धाम गोवर्धन के लाल की जय हो. Thank you, Prabhu. Radhe Radhe. Thank you, Rameswar Prabhu. Send me the recording, Prabhu. Anjali Mande roz aana mat. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Let's send this one, what you told now. That place. Keranos or something you told now. Caribbean, Suriname.
Yeah.
I sent you already.
You sent out.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. I'll send you Prabhupada this one. About this, how he is greater than every